Before we dive into today's episode, I want to tell you about my free calligraphy style challenge. We start Sunday, June 20th, and it's basically 5 days of free lessons from me on how to create your own calligraphy style, how to bounce letters, create different kinds of letters from scratch, how to inject your own personality and get a really unique calligraphy look. So again, we start Sunday, June 20th. Get signed up now. You can use any calligraphy tools that you already have, and we're gonna have a total blast. There will be calligraphy prizes and winners every day. There will be live sessions by me where I go even more in depth into the lessons. You're gonna walk away learning so much. And did I mention it was completely free? crookedcalligraphy.com/style to sign up. Again, that's crookedcalligraphy.com/style. See you June 20th. Hello, welcome back to the Shinah Show. Okay, this episode is gonna be super tactical. It's a little bit different from my other episodes. I am going to tell you how I landed Dom Pérignon as a client for my calligraphy business. They're obviously, you know them. They make the champagne, they're a big corporation. And I'm also gonna give you 3 important lessons if you wanna go after corporate clients yourself. And this can apply not only to calligraphy businesses, but really any creative business if you are looking to get corporate clients. If you do watercolor portraits at events, or you're an event planner maybe, anything like that. So I hope this will be super useful for you. The reason I wanted to share this story and really break it down for you guys is because I am getting ready to run my free calligraphy style challenge. And I always like to tell this story because it shows you how important style really is. Let me get into the story of how this actually happened. I actually did not go after Dom Pérignon as a client. I got an email in my inbox one day that said, "Hi, I'm with Dom Pérignon. We are looking for a calligrapher for our, in-person events, dinner parties, things like that. This is the typical style that we go with." And she gave a sample photo. "Would you be interested? Oh, by the way, I heard about you from this event planning duo that we've worked with in the past, and they recommended you as a calligrapher." I got that email in my inbox. This was maybe, I want to say 3 years into my business. I think this was 2019. I mean, it was definitely the biggest client that had ever reached out to me. I did a little happy dance first, but then I kind of ran into a dilemma. The style of calligraphy that they had shown me in that email, the sample photo, was nothing like the style of calligraphy that I typically do. If you follow me on Instagram, Crooked Calligraphy, if you've seen any of my calligraphy videos or photos, you know I do a very expressive, modern style of calligraphy. And the photo that they showed me was a pretty classic, more traditional script, not even done with a pointed pen. So done with a slightly different calligraphy tool than the one I typically use. So I had a choice right here. I could say, "I don't really do that style. Sorry, I would love to work for you, but I don't do that style." Which felt like the safer route, to be honest, to just own up and say, out of my comfort zone. I don't know if I could really do it the way you want. Probably it's better if I just say no. I mean, I would have kicked myself forever if I had done that, right? To give up that opportunity to work with Dom Pérignon, and who knows where else that might have led me. So here's what I did instead. I analyzed that calligraphy style they gave me. I went into my sort of style creation mode, and I broke down that style, that font they gave me, and I did a couple different examples of the closest thing that I could do with my calligraphy. So I basically took that same place card sample that they gave me, and I rewrote it in my own style, but in a way that was pretty close to the vibe that they were going for. And I did all this within 90 minutes or so, getting the email, going, thinking about how to respond, thinking to myself, can I do this? Coming up with these 2 styles, writing them on, sample place cards, photographing them, and getting back to the client. I made those sample place cards. I sent a photo to the client, said, so excited to work with you. I can't do exactly the look that you sent me. That's a slightly different calligraphy style than what I usually do, but here are two very similar looks that I can do. Let me know if that works for you and we can talk about how to move forward. And guess what? They hired me. They hired me pretty quickly. So of course I was super, super stoked. And it turns out that one contact, 2020 was kind of a right for events. So didn't work with them in 2020, but in 2019 and up until the pandemic started, I worked with them regularly and wrote on a lot of cool stuff. Even they flew me up to San Francisco just for the day to write on Scotch bottles. Because guess what? Dom Pérignon is not just Dom Pérignon. The corporation that owns Dom Pérignon, Moet Hennessy, also owns a lot of other well-known brands like Moet Chandon, like Glenmorangie, Hennessy, a bunch of other liquor and champagne brands, Ruinart, Krug, Champagne. I was able to kind of work with some of those other brands as well and do some really cool stuff and get paid well and build up my portfolio and build up my credibility and my confidence as a professional calligrapher. And I just learned so much, and who knows, I might still be working with them once events start happening again. We shall see. Right now this is coming out in June 2021, so things are just starting to open up. We shall see. Anyway, that's the story of how I landed Dom Pérignon as a client. Now I want to kind of dissect that a bit, really dive in deeper, and give you 3 important lessons if you are wanting to go after corporate clients yourself. Lesson number 1, the power of networking. Let me rewind a little bit to before I got that email in my inbox from Dom Pérignon. I mentioned that she mentioned these event planners that I had worked with before. That was the connection that got that email into my inbox. So I had worked with this small event planning duo who had Dom Pérignon Moet Hennessy as a client and done some work with them. And so they had passed on my name to the person at Dom Pérignon in charge of events. How did I get in touch with this event planning duo? I got hired, just stepping one further back, I got hired by Sonia Rasula, who is the creator, the founder of Unique Markets here in LA. They're a very popular pop-up market. So she had hired me to do calligraphy at just a networking kind of an event for business owners and female business owners at Unique LA. So she hired me to do that. The event planning duo saw me there, hired me, and then passed on my name to Dom Pérignon. How did I get in with Sonia Rasula, who is the founder of Unique Markets? I sold at Unique Markets. When I first started my calligraphy business and I was selling individual greeting cards, I applied to be a seller at Unique Markets. It is not a cheap market to be a part of. It cost $800 just for my little table, just to have that for 2 days. But it's a really popular, chic, amazing market. So I knew I wanted to be a part of it. So I not only applied and was a Unique LA seller, I took the time to actually send a really thoughtful Christmas thank you note to Sonia saying, Unique Markets totally launched my calligraphy business. I'm so grateful that you've put together something like this. These are the things that have happened for me since then. Thank you so much. Here's what that did for her. It was a sincere, heartfelt thank you from me, but she ended up featuring that note on her Instagram stories because it was great for her too. It was a glowing testimonial to be a seller at Unique Markets. So it's something that she could use as well. So that's how I kind of created a relationship with Sonia, just by taking the time to do that. It's not like I was planning to get to Dom Pérignon. That wasn't my end goal, but that's how I got there. People telling people, connecting me to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. The end lesson is networking. Connecting with people in a genuine way is so, so crucial. And even if you don't think that you're good at networking, maybe you think networking is kind of icky or fake or something you have to force yourself to do, you can do it in a more genuine way. And that is by really sincerely wanting to help the person that you're wanting to network with. Number one, it really, really helps to be an actual customer or purchaser of that person's product or service or whatever it is. That gives you a lot of credibility that you're not just a freebie seeker, right? Or someone who's going to use them. And then taking the time to really offer them something that is going to be valuable for them will make such a huge impact. Second thing, it also doesn't mean you have to network with everybody around and go to events every single weekend and try really hard to get in with people. That feels really fake, right? But you can focus on trying to connect with people who are themselves really good connectors to other people. So people like Sonia, the creator of a pop-up market who is just so connected to so many other businesses and who holds events herself. Maybe the owner of an agency. If you're a calligrapher, a calligraphy agency that goes and sends calligraphers out to do work with big name brands, it would be an amazing connection to get in with the owner of an agency. Event planners, that's another huge category where they're actually putting on tons of events and working with lots of corporate clients themselves and probably working with other artists and things. Even the leaders of your local Tuesdays Together meeting. They know tons of people. So if you can think of networking that way, but really be sincere about it, purchase the product that the person has to sell. Show them that you're a genuine lover of what they do and try to offer them something that's valuable to them. So that was all of that. Was just lesson number one, right? If you're looking to get corporate clients. Okay, lesson number two. What I have learned from working with Dom Pérignon, owned by Moet Hennessy, from working with Johnson & Johnson, Anthropologie, Apollos. Working with corporate clients requires a lot of flexibility. So that's lesson number two. And flexibility in many different ways. Style, for sure. Especially if you're a calligrapher or, if you're an artist even. Corporate clients tend to have their own style guidelines, their own brand sheets, their own fonts that they use for particular events and products. They might even have their own brochures that they've already made or flyers for events that they want you to match the style of. And this goes beyond calligraphy too, right? So it really, really helps you to be able to be flexible with style, to be able to produce a broad range of styles. Corporate clients also require a lot of flexibility when it comes to timing, especially if you're going to do events with this corporate client. A lot of guest lists get changed last minute, people get added, events get canceled, events get added on. They might change all of a sudden the color of the paper they want to work on. Corporate clients are putting on these things sort of fast and furious, so it really helps for you to be able to move along with them and show that you're very flexible and you will make their life easier. Which leads me into lesson number three. If you're going to go after corporate clients, you do have to have a level of professionalism and expertise to really work with them well. Here's an example. I mentioned working with Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson reached out and hired me to do calligraphy envelopes for their women's speaker series. They reached out to me. They told me it was because I had a law background. They specifically told me that they had worked with calligraphers before where the process was not super professional or clear, and they just kind of didn't know what was going on, and they really liked that I had a law background so I could be very professional and communicative and on top of things and deliver exactly when I said I was going to deliver. So they specifically told me that, and that's what I delivered. That means, laying out a process of deadlines and when you're going to provide what, when you want something from them. It means following up. It means communicating when things are going to be delayed or whenever something goes in the mail. It's just matching, right, that corporate client's level of professionalism that they're used to from working in that corporate environment. And that will make their life so much easier when it comes to working with you, and that will make them want to continue working with you and giving you more projects. Because at the end of the day, you're not working with a corporation. You're working with an employee inside that corporation. It's just their job to find a calligrapher, put on this event, get all the pieces together, get the guest list, right? You're just one piece of their day job that they're doing. So you want to make their life as easy as possible, and you will continue to get referred and you will continue to get work. You also, right, for part of lesson 3, I said you should have a level of professionalism and expertise. So here's the expertise part. When a corporate client hires you, they will expect you to be the expert and tell them what kind of paper you might need for calligraphy, what colors are doable, how long the process will take you, what they need to provide by what date in order for you to do your job so it can turn around and you can get it to them by the deadline. They will expect you to know those answers because, again, the person working with you is just an employee of a company and they don't know anything about calligraphy, so they will lean on you and your expertise. I know that lesson 3, that last one, sounds especially intimidating. I don't want that to put you off completely. I'm not saying that you have to feel completely confident and like a complete expert and like you really got it down in order to work with corporate clients. Absolutely not. But you've got to be willing to put in the work. Really dig into, okay, what would be a professional level of communication? At what stage should I communicate? If they email me, I got to email them back within the day. That would be the professional thing to do. If they ask questions about, what kind of paper they need, then I am committed to looking that up and doing my research and maybe asking calligraphy friends or a community so that I can get back to them and look like an expert. It just takes a certain level of commitment, but trust me, when you get your first corporate client, you should not feel 100% confident because that means you've waited too long, right? It will feel a little bit scary and like you kind of don't know what you're doing a little bit, but as long as you have that commitment to show up really professionally and as an expert, then that will rub off and you'll just learn so much from that first corporate client experience and be able to carry that into the next one. I know that my story of how I landed Dom Pérignon isn't exactly here's how to go out and get it, but I hope that these lessons prepare you to be the kind of calligrapher that a corporate client would want to hire. Because once you have that, then you can, and you really want to go after corporate clients, then you can position yourself and make your website look a certain way and have very professional photos and communicate in a really professional way. You can position yourself to be that calligrapher that looks really legit that corporate clients want to look for. And then you can start to go out and network, maybe ask your own friends and family if they know anyone who works at a big corporation where they do events. Do you know anyone? Could you connect me to someone? Do you know how they hire calligraphers? You can start to ask those questions, right? And you can start to do research on how to reach out directly to those people. And then you will be prepared to really back it up and be that calligrapher or artist that the corporate client really wants to work with. I hope that this episode was helpful for you if you want to go after corporate clients. I know that it can sound out of reach and intimidating, but I assure you, corporate clients, again, the employees are just people. So think of it that way. Be armed with the lessons that I've taught you today. There is one piece of this that I can help you with directly, and that is the calligraphy style piece. So let me tell you really quickly, I do have a course called Modern Calligraphy 201. It's my intermediate level course. I have a beginner course and then a second level course. So Modern Calligraphy 201 teaches you exactly how to create your own calligraphy styles from scratch so that you can be armed with a system to come up with those styles whenever corporate clients want them, or any other clients for that matter. Modern Calligraphy 201 will be opening soon, but I am offering a free 5-day taster of what that course includes. That's my style challenge. So you can sign up for my style challenge at crookedcalligraphy.com/style. That's if you're listening to this or watching this in June of 2021. So crookedcalligraphy.com/style. That's one piece of it. I hope that this episode has given you some of the other pieces where you can really start to get yourself set up and start to make a plan. if you really want to go after those corporate clients. All right, stay on that crooked creative path. You can totally do it. It's really possible for you. I will see you next time. Hey, if you're interested in learning calligraphy and you want to do it for free, I have a calligraphy workshop that I created just for you. I know how frustrating it is to buy the wrong tools, to not know how to use them, for everything coming out of your pen to look like nonsense. That's why I created this training. It's about an hour long. It shows you exactly what tools to buy, how to prep those tools, how to get started right, and how to continue practicing so that you actually get good at calligraphy. And bonus, it will tell you a little bit more about how to continue working with me if you want to learn calligraphy from me. So that's at freecalligraphyworkshop.com, all one word, freecalligraphyworkshop.com. Hope to see you inside.